Hello, shalom again. We have come together again this time between the 10 days of Rosh Hashanah and Kippur, which are called Yamim Noraim and Aseret Yemei Teshuvah, means the 10 days in which all the condensation of self-reporting and self-accounting, cleaning, forgiving, etc. is happening. So we have the month of Elul, which is a month among 12 months. In the month of Elul is this work that we do to purify ourselves, to forgive ourselves, to forgive others. And it condenses into 10 days between the Rosh Hashanah and Kippur, which we are now in, which represents actually the 10 great powers that activate the universe, the 10 Sefirot. And then Yom Kippur, next week, it comes to 1 day. Everything, this is a tzimtzum of purification. 30 days, 10 days, and 1 day. And so it is significant to elaborate on a question that Devora was asking me last few weeks. So you may ask, and then we'll go through the question.
Yeah, I was hoping that you could talk to us about you had talked about the mix-up of good and evil. We talked about the whole idea of the tree of knowledge of good and evil, and what does it mean that those are mixed up? What is the significance of that? How does that affect us?
Okay. As it is known there in the story of Bereshit, Genesis, the Creator asked when he placed Adam and Eve in the Garden of Eden, he asked them not to eat from the tree of knowledge, good and evil.
Exactly.
So, what that means? One of the classic interpretations or understandings in our tradition is that this good and evil, the opposites, the paradox, is in one tree. Means they are confused. And therefore, that fact means the ability to choose was given, the power of choice.
Power of choice, that's huge.
But how can you choose when you have a pot, good and evil mixed? How do you recognize it?
Right, how do you distinguish when
How do you distinguish?
So
yeah. So that's the classical question. And that's also the classical state of humanity since we know it until now, in which our prophet has mentioned many times, I think especially Isaiah, who says that they see black as white, bitter as sweet, right? Up as down, etc. It's a whole upside world. And this upside world is our inability or our stubbornity. What do you call
stubbornity?
That's stubbornity.
That's a good word.
And laziness to sort out what good. So we are confused to differentiate between what is good and bad. So the enlightened ones comes and tell us, so the good for you is bad for me, and the me for you is good for you, and you go to Tower of Babylon again.
Total confusion, right?
Tower of confusion. In our time, we don't need even to explain that. It's obvious. Look around you. No? Look around you. We are in an age that information and knowledge are mixed. I would not go to say that knowledge is good and information is evil. No. But it is these two branches. It is the classical paradoxes. We live in an information age, right?
That's right.
In which we have everything at our hand at the press of the button, you see. And this supposedly connecting or communicating with each other now, it makes us far away from each other. In other words, the information today is kind of creates a kind of noise. In French, bavardage, or in which we don't have a moment to sit in and be with ourselves.
Right.
This anti-civilization does not allow us to go to ourselves. Because when we are within ourselves, by ourselves, for ourselves, we can distinguish between that evil and bad. In other words, I wrote here that it doesn't give us the ability or the possibility or a moment, I call it a quiet moment, to be with yourself and sort out. In Kabbalistic literature and also tradition, there is such a notion to sort out what good and what is bad. Okay? So, and what's right or what's wrong. So, we live in an age of confusion. The real Tower of Babylon, we don't have the ability to choose between that and that, up and down. For instance, there's so many attachments now. People are push-button devices addiction.
Yeah.
Addiction.
Yeah, there's addiction.
In which these push a button, you like it, you push a button, you love it, but doesn't mean anything.
Yeah.
It increases the confusion. Or people write each other that we are connected, but actually what connects? This is disconnection age we are.
Yeah.
And so this is the confusion of the tree of knowledge, good and evil. We speak about knowledge, but we live in information age, and I differentiate. I emphasize in my teaching that information is not knowledge. And so if we take, for instance, the word that express good, tov, and ra, bad in Hebrew, and the word of tree, etz, and the word da'at, which is knowledge, on the surface we have the translation that exists all over this planet of the Bible, of the Hebrew Bible, Tanakh, Torah, etz, hadat, tov, vara. Lo tochlu, don't eat from it, because it's mishmash. We have to learn to sort out. So the Kabbalah and the study of the letters can assist us to begin to sort out. And we have a month in our tradition, among the 12 months that we are crazy about that and life, etc., to dedicate 1 month to this, which is the month of Elul. To see how, and that's the month of Elul is to sort out. What did I do wrong? To whom? Ask forgiveness. Yeah, don't sleep until you forgive everybody. Things like that, which are simple, but it clarifies the, I call it here the purification of mind, or in Hebrew, zikucha todah, the purification of consciousness. In other words, we have this garbage, nonsense, bavardage. What do you call that word in English?
Yeah, chatter. Constant chatter. in our
Constant
minds.
chatter.
It's constant mental chatter. Never quiets.
Yeah.
Always.
So if we dedicate, and I suggest that work to do through the letters in my book, The Invisible Stairway, and so you can sort out yourself. So your life will be balanced. Today we see a bunch of information freaks who thinks they know. And I think the word to know is one of the most abused verbs in this anti-civilization. When I say anti-civilization means not using the talent and the ability to unite this, what is separated. One of the great aspects of Kabbalah is to unite, that is what is separated. The husband and wife, male and female, to find the way to unite it. And so the tree of knowledge, good and evil, is mixed on purpose. And you know what? They ate from it. Right? Story says they ate from it.
Right, they were told
What
not
is
to
the
and
verb?
they did it.
What is the verb eating in Hebrew? Means they absorbed it.
Right.
Right? They become it.
Right.
And look what happened. Out of the garden.
Yeah.
So humanity is out of the garden. That's why we are though confused. And our beautiful Kabbalistic tradition, through its knowledge and beautiful way of transmitting certain principles over the generations, proposed two ways to know. The way of suffering, right?
Right.
And the way of learning. Choose. Moshe, I think last parasha, it says here, even in this parasha of the week, it says here is, I give you life and death. I give you good and right and evil. You choose.
Right.
So don't complain if you have a trouble tomorrow. Why me? Why? You did it to yourself. So, but what I mean is, some choose the hard way, the hard knock way, as they say.
Right.
Why? Plus the great disease that envelops the planet now of laziness and going away from the essence of things. So that's a few of the ways of how to sort out.
Okay, so I appreciated what you were saying because what I feel like with these stories, especially the tree of knowledge of good and evil, is this idea that feels so compelling when you hear about it, and immediately you think there has to be so much more to this story, but at the same time, we're so used to it as this story back when it's almost mythological. How do you apply it? And so with this, I like it very much because it's this idea that no, it's here right now. Like you were saying, no, we're in confusion right now. We're still in that mix-up of the knowledge of good and evil, and we're the ones who have to be able to sort between those and find that differentiation. And I love how you connected it to Elul and this idea that we have this in the Jewish tradition an entire month to sort out, to find what am I doing that's wrong? What am I doing that's right? How can I apologize and ask for forgiveness and try to restore myself and fix the places where I'm going wrong? I think that's just beautiful. And also we talked a lot about this idea of information versus knowledge. That was very, very significant.
Right.
That's part of our mix-up. We can't find the difference between these two because we're so trapped with information and intellectualization and just the constant noise of, you're the politicians and the media and the Facebook, and all of it is lying to you, and it doesn't matter if it's the right or the left or the up or the down. At the end, you don't even know how to be. And I feel like you see that in the world where within your own life it can be confusing. You think you're doing good, but then it comes out bad. Or I think I'm great in my relationship, and then it's chaos and we're causing each other difficulty. Or, even like the terrorists think that they're doing good, but then they're killing people. Or we think we're doing good, but we don't see the harm that we cause. And so the importance of that sorting and differentiating, but understanding how do you come back to wisdom and to really coming back to that centered place. And you talked about the importance of taking a moment of silence within all of this noise that everyone's trying to tell you what to do, and you can't find your real spiritual essence when all this chatter is happening all the time.
Well, it's a paradox to speak about silence. It is a perplexed time that doesn't allow us to collect ourselves, as Kabbalistic will say, collection of self. So you can sort out or observe your thoughts, observe what's going on. So since we live in a generation of parrots, you repeat what they told you.
Information versus knowledge.
Information
Right.
again.
Repeat instead of I know
Yeah.
it within
Parrot.
myself. I've experienced it. I've lived it. I breathe that.
So
Right.
when a person tell me I know that person is lying. So, because when you know, it's manifested, it's obvious. You don't say I'm aware. No. If you say I'm aware, it's a proof that you are not. See again, I'm telling the tree of knowledge.
Right,
That's the
right.
confusion
Talking
and
versus
its
being,
subtleties.
appearance versus the real essence.
Appearance versus essence. That is why I emphasize this personal, individual work.
Oh,
To dare to walk against the wind, like in mime, you know.
yeah.
To dare to walk against the river of confusion.
Oh, that's beautiful. Thank you.
The Nahar HaMevucha in Hebrew. And we live in a perplexed, really, times.
That's right.
And so it's up to you, the individual, if you really care. But we are so habituated of conventions that we have to break the conventions. So therefore, it's up to you. It is written in our sources that God created the world for you
Oh, that's beautiful.
only. And you have to
You have to do
use the talent that I invested in you. If the Creator is perfect, the creation, which is you and me, have that perfection there. But we don't use it. Science says we don't use the brain. We don't use the brain. 5%.
Right. Right.
And so therefore, if there are some among us who dare to, as I say, to dive to real knowledge, not parroting, not what's in it for me, not what's good for me, good, bad for you, me for you, good. See the confusion? And we cause it ourselves because we don't know how to think.
Right.
The tree of life proposes, yes, it is confused.
Right.
This is the world.
Right. Right. The world is
And
mixed.
we,
There's good and
according
there's
to the
bad.
Kabbalah, we have to restore it.
Oh,
So what's your part in restoring it? I'm doing this because I'm in the month of Elul and I'm involved in this,
yeah.
not search, but that kind of sorting out. Did I hurt anybody? Did I say anything? Did I offend anybody? Did I? You have to,
Yeah.
and that's what they call zikuch hatodah, to purify your thoughts, to learn how to
Yeah.
think properly, not as they tell you.
That's such a beautiful idea.
See what Einstein says about, they
Yeah.
told him what to think, not how to think.
Yeah, just that phrase, purifying the thoughts.
Yeah,
That feels so beautiful and.
but in the
gives you
in
so
the
much
big
joy.
noise, you don't have time. See, have time again. You
No,
see
they
what
won't let
how
you.
I
You'll
say.
be on Facebook and the media.
You don't have
and
time. You have to
fighting the
check your email.
politicians
You
and
have to check that. And check what to
arguing
check.
about the debates, and it'll be, and then it's gone. Right.
So that is why, for me, for instance, bringing these Kabbalistic principles to now
Yeah.
is very important. So I hope explore that yourself and really do ask.
Yeah.
We are here for that. Thank you. See you later.
Happy
Bye-bye.
sorting. Thanks.
Happy learning.